the nice thing about this integration was it really did allow people to work within the space that they're most comfortable. And then no matter where they're either starting or ending the process, all of the data is shared across both systems. So first and foremost, I'll just sign into OpenGov, which is our production portal here. One thing that I will highlight is we are integrated with Esri and ArcGIS for single sign-ons. We're integrated with a lot more Esri stuff, but for that purpose, we don't need to keep track of usernames or passwords or anything like that. We could just click the link as long as we're logged into our computer as the person that ArcGIS wants us to be, then we just get signed right in. You might have noticed the warning indication about my location services. As an IT professional, I have my location services turned off, but out in the field, if you were logging in from an iPad or if you had a laptop, it would utilize your location services to pinpoint on the map where you are, which is really useful when you're trying to do some work in a general location. You don't have to scroll and zoom out and zoom in to try and find what you're looking for. You would be a dot on the map, and the things around you would be the things that you're probably going to be inspecting. You can see on this map, these are all of the, in this case, I'm showing a layer for sewer mains only. We have layers for manholes, for storm pipes, for sewer mains. Like I said, trying to make it as simple as possible. I'm only showing the layer for sewer mains at the moment. And so you could see throughout the city of Lakewood, these are all of the sewer mains that we support, that we have to repair and replace and do inspections on and whatnot. The nice thing about the integration itself is if I am Colin and I want to task one of our crew to go out and inspect, this sewer main here, I can select it. I can choose on the map which one I want to inspect. And then from here, I can actually just create a task, which is a nice feature. Another thing that Colin does quite often is he'll create a work order. So instead of just saying, hey, go inspect this one, he can come in here, he can create a work order, he could select all of the pipes from the map that he wants to include in that work order. And he could say, by the end of the year or by the end of the month, make sure you go inspect all of these pipes in this work order. As these tasks get closed, all of the information is collected on the work order itself. And he can close that work order when everything is done. And you can get a good cost estimate of resources and time and things that were spent for that whole work order. For the purposes of the demo, I'm just going to make it easy and I'm going to create just one task on this sewer main here. The way that the integration is set up between OpenGov and ITpipes is whenever you create a CCTV inspection in OpenGov and you make that CCTV inspection on either a sewer main asset or a storm pipe asset. We actually have it set up on two different asset types. And then you assign that to a crew member that is not our contractor, which I'll get into in a second. Then what ends up happening is it will give you the option to create a task, which I will. And now we have a task here that is going to be in a planned status, right? So the way it's integrated right now is as long as the task exists on a sewer main or a storm pipe, it's a CCTV inspection task, and it's in a planned status that is assigned to one of our crew. At the end of the night, when everything syncs up, it'll take all of the new tasks that were created in OpenGov and it'll create a task on the CCTV van for those crew members. So in this case, I assigned Andy Turner. So when he signs into the van, the ITpipes CCTV van as himself, he'll actually have a new task sitting there waiting for him that is tied to this storm pipe. There's a map in ITpipes as well that's synced with GIS. So we have one source of truth, which is GIS for all of our assets. Whenever they're updated in GIS or CART or OpenGov or ITpipes, they all sync back together. So if we create a new line or add a new manhole or decommission something, it gets updated in all places. So it's a very seamless transition between GIS, ITpipes, and OpenGov at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this so that Andy doesn't have to inspect this. But ultimately, at the end of the night, had I left that there, it would have completed a sync. It would have created a task for that person to go do a CCTV inspection on the band. And then what I will do is I will show this is ITpipes web. And so as you can see, there is a map, there are manholes, there are lines. These are all linked up with GIS at the same time. These are inspections that have already been completed. So if I click on this one, you could see the issues that were captured during the CCTV inspection. You can edit it in here. You can go in and add information about the asset or the media or the observation. So any, in this case, tap factory activity that you can click on it, it'll jump right to where that is in the camera operation here. You'll see that there's a lot of asset data that is collected in ITpipes as well. Most of this is being pulled down from our GIS, and as I mentioned before, it's being updated everywhere as long as it's updated in GIS. You can see who surveyed it, you can see all of this stuff. And the nice thing about this is once somebody completes the inspection and sets their work order status equal to close, what it ends up doing during that nightly sync that I mentioned before is it will go back and take that inspection and push that information back into OpenGov. So this is one of those inspections that has already completed its sync. So from here, we can look at the asset. Obviously, it'll show it where it is on the map. We can look at the inspection and the inspection data that's completed, or actually I'll go back so you can see that the inspection status, the inspection OCI and the OCR, these are all calculated values that are being pushed to OpenGov by ITpipes using the NASCO or PACP standards. So when you see an observation like a crack or a clog or something like that, and you indicate that on your CCTV inspection, it lowers the OCI of that observed inspection, and then once it does sync, it'll convert that into like a 5-star rating, which is what OpenGov expects is a 1 to 5-star rating. But in this case, the end user didn't have to complete this twice. He didn't have to calculate his own score. He was able to do that by just completing his CCTV inspection and observing the things that he was able to observe in that inspection. And it did that calculation and put it in there by itself. When you look at the task, the end user can, it should be a nightly task for that person to go and close their completed inspections in OpenGov as well. But you could put labor log data on here. You could say how long it took you to do it, the equipment that you used, the materials that you used during that, and that'll all calculate towards the cost of maintenance on this particular sewer main over time. So that does get captured when it gets included. And one of the best features of the integration itself is that it will attach a link to the actual CCTV inspection in ITpipes when it is completed. So once the sync is done, you can go ahead and click on this link here. And that was in OpenGov. And then it opens up ITpipes, as you can see up here, and will take me directly to the video inspection in ITpipes that well, once it loads, will allow me to do what I showed you before. I can look at the asset information. I can look at the actual video. I can click on this observation. I can hit play. I can, actually review the CCTV stuff and, make actionable uh, items or follow-up tasks from that if I want to actually do a repair task now instead of a CCTV inspection task from OpenGov. I can task that out to go out and do a repair